even just the way, like, even our internet infrastructure is an organized duopoly between the cable companies, between essentially like Comcast and AT&T. So it's just an organized duopoly. That's why we get shittier internet at a higher price. And I know, like, they're
I'm laughing because I'm thinking of the South Park episode. Oh yeah, you want to get a Verizon? Oh yeah, oh.
I
You want to
haven't
get
seen
go
that.
to the other cable company? Yeah, go to there. Yeah, it is. It's a mafia.
I haven't
It's
seen
a
that.
mafia
Yeah,
duopoly in the cable
it
rackies
really
over
is.
there.
And I know you have like kind of similar things going on in the UK in that regard, but not quite the same. I mean, you guys, I mean, your internet is a lot cheaper than ours, and it's
Yeah,
typically better.
yeah.
So you don't. I mean, I know there's still some big cable issues all around the world. I know like Australia did a similar model to ours, so they're like really screwed over there. But I know that you don't have it quite as bad as we do.
You've been pushing for municipal broadband, haven't you? Something like that. Can you explain what that is?
Yeah, so that's essentially just city-owned internet, where instead of, again, an organized duopoly of big cable, instead of your paying your internet bill to like a big cable company, you would pay your internet bill to your city, and internet infrastructure would be in the city's hands. Now, this has happened in the United States. This is a thing that we do have. It's just not all over the country. All the places that have tried municipal broadband, they are able to build something cheaper. It's cheaper to maintain, and it's better quality internet than what big cable offers. Pretty
But
much
why would
100%.
they go with somebody else then, Ron?
Right. Well, that's the thing. So, Gordon, the thing about the United States is it comes down to, in the most simplest of terms, we're really fucking big. We're just a really big place. Some people, they don't know what to do with all the space around them. That they don't really know. That's why there really is no like kind of comprehensive goal as far as like America is concerned. And in some ways, there's a certain beauty to that. It really is one of those places where there's so many unique pockets and so many things where it's like, especially a place like Los Angeles, where it's like you can really try to do anything you want. You're not guaranteed success, but you can try to do anything you want. If you want to have the world's most successful YouTube channel about tying shoes, you can try to build that in Los Angeles. And if you're going to succeed anywhere, you'll succeed in Los Angeles. It's just that kind of place. And it's really magical in many ways. But the other side of that is we just have this big a lot of people are just looking around going, what the hell? So with municipal broadband, bringing this back to internet, when a city gets it, other cities look around, they're like, that's freaking awesome. How do we get that? So it spreads, but it only spreads so far because eventually that kind of stops. So like when a big municipal broadband project is successful, all the cities around it try to build it too. And Harvard University released a study looking at all those, and they found out, oh, these cities are offering better internet at a better price than these cable duopolies. And guess what? You don't need to worry about a post net neutrality world because that's going to be written into the charters because everybody from the poorest resident to the mayor wants their porn to load really fast. So
Mm-hmm.
there you go. We're doing the work. So it's it's one of those things that once people realize what it is, they're for it. But a lot of people just like don't know what that is, or a lot of cities have a lot of red tape that the big cable companies have already put in, so it's hard to fathom building something like it. So that's pretty much the hurdle as to making that a more extensive thing. It's just the kind of size. Like there's different municipal projects going on right in the Los Angeles area. There's one in Santa Monica, one in Beverly Hills, but not a lot of people even know that. Like, not a lot of people even know that that's going on. Some of the people that live there don't even know that. So it's one of those things where it's just a matter of really bringing it to the public's attention of what it is, what it can do, how you can build it in your community, because it really just comes down to showing up at a city hall meeting and pleading for it. So that's what I've tried to do. I've tried to
You actually
really.
went down to City Hall and pleaded for it, didn't you?
I did, and since then they did do a case study on it. They concluded that we couldn't afford it. We being Pasadena, California, where I live. And the problem with it, and I don't know. Again, I don't know if this is just because they don't want to fathom it, or because it's just something they're unfamiliar with, so they didn't really know how to dig as deep. I don't know. But they looked at the case study of Beverly Hills. They looked at what Beverly Hills is doing, which is a fiber to the home model. They just multiplied what it's costing them to the mileage of Pasadena. So it's like they're this many square, this many miles. Pasadena's this big. So let's just multiply that. Oh, this is how much it would cost. We can't afford that. And that was it. And so I got up there and I responded because there was like a public response. And I was like basically the dude because everyone was like, well, this is on the agenda because of this fucking guy. So I get up there and I'm just like, all right, I appreciate you guys doing this, first of all. But you looked at one case study. There's a ton of ways we can accomplish this. I find it hard to believe that Pasadena, California, which, I mean, we have JPL here, which is a huge like research facility. We have Caltech here, which is, if you know the show, what's that show?
Big Bang Theory.
It's based on Caltech. That's where they're supposed to go. So, this is an area with a lot of resources. I find it hard to believe that Pasadena, California, can't figure out how to build something that a town of 7,000 in Massachusetts figured out. I just find it hard to believe. So I kind of said that. So the issue now is when you're in a pandemic, it's kind of hard to be like, we got to build city internet when it's like, well, people are getting evicted. We kind of have a more immediate. But the other side of that is that people are seeing how essential the internet is in their life. And they're also seeing how underserved so many parts of the United States are. So, once we get on a little more stable ground, I think this movement is going to get a big, punch in the arm. And I think that's a really good thing. And in your neck of the woods over in the UK, there was a group of farmers that kind of took it into their own hands. When the pandemic happened, they were just kind of there. They were, just kind of stuck at their farms. They realized how shitty their internet options were. And the companies that were available to them were kind of just jerking them around. So they used their tractors and they laid fiber. And now they have this amazing internet that they just built themselves. And they went like a co-op. So that can be done. It's not, internet infrastructure is not some like crazy, crazy thing to build. Some farmers with their tractors were just.
I've seen them. I've seen the guys digging the street and laying it. They are not intelligent people. They really aren't.
It's not that. It's not like some extensively difficult thing to do. And I applaud these farmers for taking the initiative. I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
But so like this can happen all over the country, whether it be in England or in the United States. And for someone who really cares about issues of like net neutrality and issues of digital rights. Well, this kind of puts the internet, this really democratizes the internet for the foreseeable future, which I think is infinitely important.
You need to lobby them more, Ron. Lobby them. That's what it is.
Right.
You haven't lobbied them hard enough.
All I can offer them is a free stand-up performance. That's all I got.
Worth its weight in gold, mate. That is. You mentioned the security side of things there with the internet. We've got a situation. It's actually breaking news over here today. It's a big news on the BBC website that there was an encryption app called EncroChat that the police broke into. They got the decryption from it. They're making laws right now. Is it the Earn-It law over there? I can't remember the law over there in America. They're basically making encryption illegal by the look of it. And as a result of them taking down this EncroChat and decrypting it, they've today the biggest ever police operation has been launched in this country, and they've arrested hundreds of people as a result of it, and proper, high up gangsters, so to speak. This is all obviously coinciding with them taking away this anonymity and the ability to encrypt our conversations. This is really, there are obviously instances where it would be beneficial for the police to be able to decrypt conversations and find out when people who are talking anonymously are up to no good. But
sure,
it doesn't always get used for that purpose, does it, mate? And this is why it's worrying me anyway.
Right. Yeah, and we have the same kind of thematic issue here in the States where it's like, you know, you're always trying to tread that line between, privacy and civil liberties and, security. You're trying to walk that fine line. And what you see time and time again, and this is by design, is you see a lot of overreaches where this is not keeping people safer. This is not benefiting society. This is just an overreach by the government. One of the things that happened here was they had these different kind of tracing bills that really went far and beyond, where they can just randomly trace anybody, where they can just, like, in some cases they could go into somebody's house, and I mean, there were all these red flags that were raised. And the sad part is that, yes, there is a situation where something like contact tracing can be important. If somebody tests positive for COVID and they go to their phone company and they say, hey, I really want you to help me make sure I cover every all of my ground, to make sure I notify everybody that I need to notify that may have come in contact with me. That's one thing that can be constructive, a collaborative effort, if you will. But when there's no oversight for the
It'll
benefit
be
of
used
people's
against people
security,
like Max
it'll be
Blumenthal.
exactly, it's weaponized against people. And yeah, similar things have happened in England. So it's like, we need to be incredibly careful with when do we permit these types of things. And I think it shouldn't happen unless the person is working together, unless it's a collaborative effort. But unfortunately, the policy has not reflected such, and we've seen a lot of concerning bills, here in the United States, and I don't think that's going to do anything to stop the spread of COVID. I don't think that's going to do anything for the health of society. I think it's just going to be weaponized in a very dishonest way.